This exercise is rowing. Very, very complicated movement. I find most people don't do it completely correctly. And if you feel like you're getting exhausted real quick, you're probably just not moving as efficient as possible and using the legs as much as you need to. You want to use probably at least 70 to 75% of your legs doing the movement mostly, and then it's core and upper body doing the rest. But your legs are really generating that power and driving through to really generate that power initially. All right, so let's go through a few common things I often see that are wrong, and then we'll go into the proper mechanics. All right, so first thing I'll usually see is people flexing the wrists. So very small issue, but if you feel like you're flexing at the very end like so, now you think about doing this repetitively. This is typically where I see some people getting like a medial epicondylitis because you're really using those forearm muscles more than you need to. All right, so you're going to be keeping a stiff wrist the entire time as you go into that pull. All right, so no extension, no flexion, neutral wrist. All right. From there, we want to look at utilizing the legs to generate that power and not locking out too early prior to that pull. So you should be driving and pulling kind of in unison, but you're really generating that power from the legs. The arms just finish the job at the very end there. So drive through that midfoot. So at the very end of that movement, my legs are locked out. I'm in that row position, and then go into that next repetition. The next thing I'll see is being too quick with it. So if you're trying to get back to that starting point too quickly versus driving, reset, driving again. If you're going too quickly into that next rep, you're going to fatigue a lot quicker. You're not going to be able to really drive off those legs as much as you want to. So drive, a little slow on the way back, so you can really get the best out of that row. And then the last thing I'll usually see is people either too upright or leaning too far back. So you want your body to be, or your torso rather, to be more at, let's say 11 o'clock on a clock. So if you look at me as I'm going, at the very end, I'm kind of angled at 11 o'clock. I'm not too far down at 9 o'clock, but I'm not all the way up at 12 o'clock. All right, so kind of find that 10 to 11 o'clock on the clock, and that's where you want to be at the very end there. All right, and then the last thing actually is going to be making sure that you're not using all arms. So if you're locking out too soon and keeping the arms straight, now all it is a row versus driving with the legs and moving the arms in unison. So don't lock out and then row. Push away and drive the arms as you're driving with the legs. So a few things that can go wrong. There's usually a few other things, but those are usually the most common that I see, and that is rowing.